Beloved child, listen carefully. Today is not just any day. Heaven is in motion and a call is resonating within you. Do you feel it? That weight in your chest, that restlessness in your soul, that sensation that something is about to change. It is not just a feeling, it is I, God, touching your life, awakening your spirit, preparing you for a transition that will change your story forever. Think of a seed in the soil. For a long time it remains hidden, unseen in darkness, but beneath the surface it is breaking open, growing roots, preparing to emerge. Then at the right time it pushes through the ground into the light. This is your moment of emergence. Have you felt this stirring inside you? Could it be that I am preparing you for something greater? Perhaps you thought everything would remain the same, that your cycle in this place would never end. But today, I come to tell you that the time for change has arrived. The place where you have been was necessary, but it does not define your entire journey. Just as a child outgrows their clothes, you too have outgrown where you are. The space that once fit now feels tight, uncomfortable. Why? Because I've placed a greater calling on your life. It is time to clothe yourself with a new purpose, to walk into a broader territory, and to live what I have prepared for you from the beginning. Reflect for a moment. Are you clinging to a season that has already fulfilled its purpose? What if I am calling you to something bigger? I know that change can be frightening because humans cling to what is familiar and known. But if you stay where you are out of fear of the unknown, you will never see what I have for you. Every change I allow in your life has a purpose. Nothing happens by chance. Even what seemed like a setback, a loss, or pain was part of my greater plan, preparing you for this moment. Imagine a baby bird in its nest. It is comfortable there, warm and safe, but there comes a time when it must leave, spread its wings and fly. If it refuses out of fear, it will never know the sky. My child, I am calling you to fly. Are you holding back because you're afraid? What if the very thing you fear is the gateway to my greatest blessing? Now, my child, the time has come to trust. Just as a baby bird, once it breaks through its eggshell, can never return inside, the same is true for you. The previous cycle has ended and your new journey begins now. You may be asking, Lord, where am I going? What awaits me? Oh, if only you could see what I've already prepared. If you could see beyond the veil of uncertainty, your soul would leap with joy. I am the God who called Abraham to go out without showing him the destination. And just as he obeyed and was greatly blessed, so will it be with you. Think of walking through fog. You can only see a few steps ahead, but you keep moving because you trust the road is there. That is what I'm asking you to do, to trust me step by step. Are you waiting for everything to be clear before you move, or will you trust me even when you cannot see? Do not wait to have all the answers before taking the first step. Do not expect everything to be perfectly clear before deciding to move forward. The righteous live by faith, and faith means walking in trust, even when you cannot see what lies ahead. When I brought Lot and his family out of Sodom, I gave them a clear command. Do not look back. But Lot's wife looked back and was paralyzed. Imagine a runner in a race. If they keep looking over their shoulder, they will stumble. Your focus must be forward. My child, do not let nostalgia or fear cloud your vision of the future. Many times, what is left behind seems more comfortable because it is familiar. But I am calling you to something greater. What are you still holding on to that I have asked you to leave behind? Will you choose to move forward? I know you have many questions. How will this happen? Where will I find the resources? But listen. I am your provider. I am the one who opens doors where there are none. I am the one who makes a way in the wilderness and rivers in the dry land. When I say it is time to move forward, I myself prepare everything so that you do not fail. Think of the Israelites at the Jordan River. The waters did not part until they took a step of faith. If they had waited for the miracle first, they would have never moved. Doors that were closed are opening. People you have never met will help you. Resources that seemed unreachable will be released. Do you believe I can provide for you? Or are you waiting for everything to be in place before you trust me? This transition is not just a change of place, a new opportunity, or a financial breakthrough. It is something much deeper. I am transforming your mindset. I am removing the limitations you placed on yourself. I am teaching you to see as I see. You were not called to live a mediocre life, settling for scraps. When I have prepared a bountiful table for you, I am changing the way you think, eliminating every voice of doubt, every scarcity mindset, every belief that made you accept less than what I have determined for you. My child, do you think I play with your hopes? Do you believe I make promises without fulfilling them? No, I am faithful. Every word that comes from my mouth is fulfilled. I move heaven and earth to bring to pass what I have determined for your life, so do not be afraid, do not turn back, do not doubt. The time for your transformation has come. Take your step, but do not carry what does not belong to your future. Leave behind the weight of the past. Carry only faith, courage, and the certainty that I am with you. Move forward, for the promised land is already before you. I am your refuge and strength. Trust in me and remain attentive to my words, for they are life to you. Now take a deep breath. Release the fear. Let go of the past and move forward. Many times, my child, I call you to step out in obedience before you see the full picture. Think of Noah. I told him to build an ark before a single raindrop had fallen. People mocked him, but he obeyed. And because he did, he and his family were saved. Sometimes, my instructions may not make sense to your mind, but do you trust me enough to obey, even when it feels uncomfortable? What is God asking you to do today that seems uncertain? Will you obey, even if others do not understand? Fear is the enemy of faith. The enemy whispers, "What if you fail?" But I say, "What if you succeed?" Look at Gideon. He saw himself as weak, insignificant. But when I called him a mighty warrior. Though he was afraid, he stepped forward and I gave him victory. My child, what labels have you placed on yourself? Have you let fear define you? Will you choose to believe in what I say about you rather than what fear says? Sometimes you are waiting for me to move, but I am waiting for you to surrender. Look at Hannah. She prayed for a child for years, but only when she surrendered her desire to me did I bless her with Samuel, one of the greatest prophets in Israel's history. Surrender is not losing. It is trusting that my way is better. What are you holding on to that you need to release into my hands? Before I give you more, I must see that you are faithful with what I have already placed in your hands. David was a shepherd before he was a king. He fought lions and bears before he ever faced Goliath. I prepared him in private before I elevated him in public. Are you being faithful in the small tasks? Are you handling this season with diligence, knowing that I am watching? Waiting is not a punishment, it is preparation. Look at Joseph. He had dreams of greatness, but before he stepped into his calling, he endured betrayal, slavery, and prison. Each delay was not denial, it was my training ground. You may feel forgotten, but I've never lost sight of you. Your time is coming. Will you trust my timing even when the waiting feels long? My child, unforgiveness is a heavy chain that will keep you stuck in the past. Look at Jesus on the cross. He was mocked, beaten, and betrayed. Yet he said, "Father, forgive them." If he, the Son of God, could forgive, can you? Is there someone you need to forgive today? Will you choose freedom over bitterness? You do not fight with earthly weapons, you fight with faith. Look at Daniel. He was thrown into the lion's den for his faith. Yet he did not waver. I shut the mouths of the lions and delivered him. The enemy wants to discourage you, but stand firm. I am your defender. Will you stand on my promises even when the battle feels fierce? You are not who you were yesterday. I've given you a new name, a new purpose, a new calling. Look at Paul. Once a persecutor of my people, I transformed him into one of my greatest messengers. His past did not define him, neither does yours. Will you let go of the old labels and walk in the new identity I have given you? You worry about tomorrow, but have I not always provided for you? Look at Elijah. When there was a famine, I sent ravens to bring him food. I made a widow's small jar of oil last until the drought ended. I'm still the same God. If I provided for them, won't I provide for you? Are you trusting in my provision, or are you relying on your own strength? Praise is more than a song, it is a weapon of victory. Look at Jehoshaphat. He faced a great army, yet instead of fighting, he sent out singers to worship, and as they praised, I fought for them, and the enemy was defeated. Worship shifts atmospheres. Will you praise me even before the breakthrough comes? Above all, I have called you to love. Look at the Good Samaritan. Others passed by the wounded man, but he stopped, helped, and showed my heart. The world will know you are mine, not by your words, but by your love. Are you loving others the way I have loved you? My child, you were not made to stay in the past. Look at the Israelites. They stood before the Red Sea afraid. But when they moved forward, I parted the waters. You too must keep walking. Your breakthrough is ahead, not behind. Will you take the next step in faith? My child, faith requires surrender. Just as Abraham trusted me when I asked him to sacrifice his son, you too must trust my plan, even when you don't understand it. Will you surrender your own plans and trust in my divine timing? Step out in obedience. Just as Noah built the ark long before the rain came, I am calling you to step forward, even when the full picture isn't clear. Trust me when I lead you into the unknown. Just as Noah's obedience aligned him with my plan, your obedience will open the door to my blessings. I am refining you through trials. Joseph endured betrayal and hardship, but I used those trials to prepare him for a greater purpose. Know this, the pain you are going through is shaping you for the future I have for you. Your struggles today are shaping your destiny tomorrow. I will provide for you. Just as I sent ravens to feed Elijah during the famine, I will provide for you exactly what you need when you step into my plan. My provision often comes in unexpected ways, but I am always faithful. Trust that I will never leave you empty-handed. I am your provider, and I will meet your needs at the right time. Stand firm in the battle, like David standing against Goliath. Trust in my power, not your own. The giants in your life are not a threat when you stand in faith. It is not by your strength, but by my power that you will overcome. Do not let fear overshadow your faith. Stand firm, for the battle is not yours, but mine. I will fight for you. Please subscribe to receive more of my truth and turn on notifications so you never miss what I have to say to you.